So this week I'm picking up where I left off last week. We're going to take those wooden strips that I glued together and cut them up into braces for our very first ride car. So good morning, we're out here in the workshop again, and today is actually New Year's Eve. So we have today, we have tomorrow, I have Monday off, and I'm going to make it a point to try to power through and get some work done out here. I'm going to get you down here on the bench and show you what I'm working on. These have been allowed to sit overnight. I moved the clamps around a little bit. We can probably get these apart now. And we'll clean up the bench and get ready for the next step. We'll get a side up on here and I'll show you what my next thought is. So I've gone through and I've created a number of drawings that basically show where all of the bracing goes. In the future, assuming this all works out properly, some of these lines I can actually have scribed onto here with the laser to make the setup a whole lot easier for the future cars. But for this one, it's just going to be a manual process of figuring out where things need to go. So we're going to try to take these, line them up, and mark out our locations. This is the nice thing about printers. They actually do a reasonably accurate job of printing things to scale. It's unfortunate I only have 11 inches to work with. All right, we're going to get these all glued into position. I think I'm going to try just tacking them down with spray adhesive and getting all these different various pieces lined up. For instance, this seat will go right here. And then there'll be an angle bracket in here that actually ties it to the side. So this is probably a 25-year-old can of spray adhesive. I'm almost positive I got this back when I used to make kites, and that was in the late 90s. It still has fluid in it, and it still has gas. The nozzle does not seem to be clogged. I'm going to give it a try because it's the only thing I've got over in my closet there. Just see if it works or not. Hopefully I don't make a mess of all my drawings. A little spray adhesive. This is the repositionable stuff. Wish I had my light table right now. Okay, that should be right. We've got this piece here. That looks better. Well, we need to transfer some of these lines. And again, as soon as we prove this concept out, a lot of this stuff is going to be simpler for the remaining cars because, like I said, these guide marks I can have put on with the laser. I can have some of these holes cut by the laser. So it's going to simplify this whole process once we get the process down. A lot of pieces here. This is kind of a dirty process because the edges of the plywood are all scorched from the laser. A little bit later, I'm going to be taking a trip out to Majestic Midways to see what they're working on in the off season. All right, time to do the other side, which will be the complement. I think we're going to mark it. Well, I think that's just about it for this afternoon. Got all of the internal bracing glued on, and New Year's festivities tonight, and then we should be able to hopefully bolt this together tomorrow. All right, well, it's New Year's Day. Had a great night with the family last night doing our annual New Year's Eve gathering. The ride car pieces, they have had a chance for the glue to dry overnight. All the bracing is in place, so there's nothing much more to do than to start putting these together. This is the moment of truth. We have to start drilling some holes in these sides, and that's the thing that I've been putting off because I don't want extra holes in the sides. So I've got these two pieces inside out. Their insides are both facing out. So the two pieces are together. I'm going to line them up here, clamp them together, and then when I drill the holes for the seats and the seat backs, I'll be going through both at the same time, and they'll be in alignment with each other. That's where they should be. All right, let's enlarge them to 1/4. I gotta repeat the thing back here. All right, now we need to cut some metal angle braces. Now they're gonna be trimmed to fit inside of here. I think the counter spring is definitely adjusted too tight. These L brackets we cut need to be mounted to the seat. So whether I put one bolt in the center or two, but I don't want them to interfere with my bolts that are going to be coming in from this side. If I do too evenly spaced, I want to figure out what that spacing would be. So if I put this ruler on here at a diagonal with the 0 lined up to that point and the 9 lined up to that point, if I make a mark at 3 and a mark at 6, and then I extend those lines in to there and to there, that gives me my even spacing. And my other bolts coming in from the side are going to be here and there. I don't think they're going to interfere with each other. The angle iron is 1 inch. We know that. But it's also an 1/8 inch wide, so that takes us to there. So there's a leg there. So we've got 7/8 left in here. Half of 7/8 is 7/16. So if we want that centered in the leg, we need to come over 7/16, which is right there. Yeah, so those will be our 2 marks. So these will go down through here. And we need to mark our angle iron and drill it. I think I'm just gonna spot it here. Take this over to the milling machine and drill it quick. Okay, we're back. Who's here? Okay, that goes like that. All right, same thing on this end. 3, 6. Lose an eighth. Go to 7/16. All right, there's one seat. Let's do another one. Okay, both seats are done. Time for the seat back. I'm going to take a quick trip out to Majestic Midways now to see what they're working on in the off-season. So they got a number of rides in the shop for rebuild right now. First off is the Orient Express. They've got the cars off for complete repaint and fixing some electrical issues with the lights up top. They're also mounting 2 kiddie rides on trailers, and they've got a kite flyer that they're rebuilding. You can see in the back there by the garage door the dragon cars for the Orient Express. And this is a shot of their paint booth. It's big enough to pull an entire ride in. They've also got this shooting gallery in for a cleanup, replacing some bulbs. I just confirmed that next month, the middle of February, I'm going to be heading down to Florida to the Gibtown show. That's the International Independent Showmen's Association, the trade show down there. So if you attend that show and you see me, be sure to say hi. Are we building this for you to ride on?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this, I need to cut 4 8-inch pieces of this to be the seat back bracket. I'm so spoiled by having this on wheels after so many years of fighting with it. It's awesome. Our next step is to figure out where the holes are going to be drilled in the seat back to attach to the bracket. I think on these ones we might have to mount the bracket to the side first. Get that hole marked. I think I figured out our best approach here. I think I'm going to make all these brackets first. Make them all identical. It's going to be 1 inch and then 6 inches between, and our 7/16 of an inch in. I got these drilled out. So now, should be able to mark these. I think that's going to work. I think we can start bolting this together. I think that's going to be really, really good. All right, so I discovered one little oversight here in this idea. That hole that I drilled, intending for a carriage bolt to come through from the backside. I can't actually put a carriage bolt there because we've got that triangular brace right there, and that's exactly where that carriage bolt was supposed to go. That brace, it's to hold the back of the seat, but it's also to hold the dashboard. So that piece will be going in there like that, and that's where the steering wheels mount. So that hole that I made is never going to be seen, so I'm okay with that. This seems weird having this in the seat where kids are going to be sitting, but there's going to be a cushion over top of this. So at the most, you're going to see maybe the ridge of this. With that like that, from this seat, all you see are the heads of carriage bolts. So that's a real smooth look from in here, and nothing for the kids to get cut or scratched on. Well, I'd hoped to get a little bit further this week, but I promised to show you all the progress as it was made, and this is where we sit. So I'm going to get this video out, and hopefully we should be able to finish this up next week, except for maybe those front and rear panels, because I still need a source for that. But if you want to follow along with all of these projects, click that link to the left and come along for the ride.